The day my partner, Marcus, and I were cruising to a prenatal appointment, we ended up in a car crash. Out of nowhere, I was transported back to my high school days. Deciding to switch schools to connect with Marcus sooner than expected, I was shocked to discover that my guy, who's always been my main squeeze, was actually a big deal back in high school. On the way, he was lugging a basketball, totally soaking up all the vibes. I accidentally blocked his path. He snapped, "Move it." Later on, I shoved him aside with a frosty look, saying, "Move it." He was like a puppy, clinging to me and not letting go. "Please, babe, don't be mad." Once I realized I'd been sent back to high school, I quickly rang up my dad. I asked him to arrange a transfer back to Marcus's school in the States. I couldn't wait to see him again. He was destined to be the future CEO of a company and my eventual husband. Right now, he was studying overseas. We never crossed paths as students. Years later, at a school banquet, we met and clicked instantly. We tied the knot amid cheers and well wishes from our friends. Everyone said I was living the dream. After marriage, we were genuinely happy. He was mature, reliable, and thriving, treating me like my world. But on the day he was driving me to the prenatal checkup, that accident happened. I thought it was the end for me. Instead, I was reborn and found myself back in high school. I remember how Marcus shielded me with his entire body when that truck barreled toward us. Now, I was desperate to see him immediately. However, even after transferring to his school back home, I didn't see him for an entire week. Teen Marcus was frequently ditching classes. My new deskmate was a plump girl, and she wasn't too shocked when I asked about Marcus. His family was loaded. His dad donated a hefty amount to the school every year. Even the principal greeted him with a smile, and teachers turned a blind eye to his truancy. She gave my shoulder a pat. "Girls who like Marcus could line up around the field twice," she said. "I hear he's a total player. Someone like him isn't from our world. Don't stress too much about it. It's impossible not to care." When I met Marcus in my previous life, he was already 30. He was a decisive CEO, steady and calm. I knew he had girlfriends before me, and I wasn't his first love. But I didn't expect him to be such a player in his younger years. His childhood friend Leo once told me, "You two just met at the right time. Jesse, you have no idea how much Marcus loved to party when he was young." But then Marcus cut him off coldly. "Can't you keep it down while eating, Leo?" Marcus snapped. Leo laughed it off and shut up. It used to bother me, but Marcus only ever focused on me once we were together. He's famous for being a devoted husband. Eventually, I stopped caring about his past. After all, life's about moving forward. There's no use dwelling on things you can't change. Now that I was back in high school, hearing how wild he was with countless rumored girlfriends, I couldn't stay calm. How could I let Marcus mess around with his fiancée here? I patiently gathered info about the rumors surrounding him. Hearing them made me clench my fists. How could 30-year-old Marcus be so composed and self-controlled when teenage Marcus was so rebellious? He fought, skipped classes, raced on the streets, and did everything wrong. And now, I couldn't even catch a glimpse of him. In the second week after my transfer, Marcus finally appeared at school. Knowing he had a basketball game that day, I specifically bought some water for him, but the playground was packed when I arrived. On the court, the kid in the blue jersey was fresh and full of energy. With the final ball decisively going into the hoop, the crowd of girls went wild. He brushed his sweaty hair away from his forehead. I watched him from a distance as he grabbed a bottle of water a girl handed him and drank it casually. As his future wife, it would be a lie to say I wasn't jealous. I quietly clenched my fists, but being short and holding the water bottle while getting jostled by the crowd, I couldn't get to the front. I yelled his name. "Marcus!" My voice was quickly swallowed by the noise. By the time it died down, he was already gone while I was still stuck in the crowd. Back in class, I was frustrated. My deskmate laughed. "It's just water. Who knows, they might be sharing mouth-to-mouth in private." With so many beauties around Marcus, only a saint could resist, right? Furious, I said, "He better not dare. If he does, I'm divorcing him." My deskmate chuckled. "Aha, you haven't even married him yet. Where's the divorce gonna come from? Jesse, with a face like yours, stop fixating solely on Marcus. Tons of guys in the next-door class are interested in you. Every time Marcus shows up at school, he's surrounded by his crew. It's tough for me to get close to him." I was starting to understand what his friends meant. Meeting Marcus at the right time. If I didn't have my past memories, meeting him at the same school wouldn't lead to sparks, let alone romance. Too many girls here wanted to spark something with him. I sighed, wondering how to catch my future husband, who was too popular in high school. Should I just wait for our lives to follow their original path, ending up together in a few years? No way. Just the thought of him being a player now made me want to punch him. At recess, I went to the store with my deskmate Betty. I was waiting at the entrance when sudden chaos erupted around me. Turning around, I saw Marcus leading a group approaching the store. Dressed in a black jacket, he looked like a leader among the uniformed students, standing out from the crowd. His young face had an alluring sharpness, something you wouldn't expect from the shrewd executive he'd become. Just as he was about to pass by me, I reached out and stopped him. He was chatting with his buddies, barely giving me a glance. Move. I widened my eyes. Can't believe he told me to move. Never had he raised his voice when we were together. All he ever did was sweet-talk me. When he was ever upset with me, it was only behind closed doors. Honey, don't cry, I'll be gentler. He'd comfort me with all the kisses and cuddles, though his strength never really eased my worries. Sadly, this Marcus wasn't my husband yet. He had no clue who I was. When I didn't budge, impatience flashed in his eyes. Can't understand humans? His buddy teased. How many has he messed with today? Every time Marcus shows up, girls swarm him. I'm so jelly. Though this girl's cute with those big doe eyes, shame she's after Marcus. Heartbreak awaits. I stared at him dumbfounded. In my past life, Marcus cherished me for so long. Now reborn, I rushed back home to transfer to his school. I waited so long to finally see him again, but he talked to me so impatiently and gave me such a cold, fierce look. I know he isn't the 30-year-old Marcus, but being spoiled by him before, I couldn't handle the slightest grievance. Emotions welled up inside me, and I couldn't hold back. I stood in front of him, my voice steady, yet fearless. Marcus, how about you say that again? People around us took a breath. He frowned, as if trying to remember who had the guts to talk to him like that. Betty came out of the supermarket, saw the scene, and quickly pulled me away. She whispered as we walked, Jessie, what are you doing? Marcus is handsome, but has a nasty temper. Even girls don't end well angering him. The next day, Marcus was at school again. I didn't want to keep getting the cold shoulder anymore, but memories of the past life accident flashed in my mind, with Marcus instinctively protecting me, bleeding all over. Never mind, it's just his immaturity now. No need to fuss over the childish him. Better to raise this rebellious teen into a devoted husband myself. If I could make the 30-year-old Marcus fall for me, I could surely win over the teenage Marcus, but I didn't expect the next time I'd see him would be in a secluded grove. Underneath a tree, a girl was on tiptoes, about to kiss him. So, should I stop my future husband from kissing another girl? Obviously, yes. But before I could get there, Marcus nonchalantly shoved her away. The girl whined, All hurt, I'm your girlfriend, why can't I kiss you? I'm a germaphobe. Are you saying I'm dirty? What else? The girl ran off crying. I felt a bit awkward and stepped back, hiding behind the tree again. I knew Marcus was a neat freak after marriage. He kept our house spotless, ironed all my clothes until they were wrinkle-free, never minded finishing my leftovers, and was always affectionate. Seeing them not kiss, I sighed in relief, thinking about how to approach him. When Marcus casually leaned against a tree, playing with a lighter he pulled from his pocket, I thought, how long are you going to keep staring? I looked around and saw no one else. Was he talking to me? Thinking it over, I stepped forward but barely moved a step before tripping over something and falling. A sharp branch scraped my knee, making me gasp in pain. Can't even walk straight and you're eavesdropping, a voice came from above me. Marcus had quietly walked over, staring at me, his eyes finally landing on my scraped knee. Then he suddenly lifted me up. I gasped. You, what, aren't you trying to get my attention by showing up here? No, why does teenage Marcus talk like a TV drama hero? He seemed to think I'd struggle out of his arms or avoid looking at him after that comment, but I just comfortably slung my arms around his neck instead. Getting your attention sure is costly. His face was unreadable, but he didn't let go. No, I have a girlfriend, and you still come around. This how you treat others too, I answered honestly. I'm only like this with my husband. He stumbled a bit. almost dropping me. "Who's your husband? Don't you know how to be shy?" He frowned at me, a hint of blush and annoyance flickering in his rebellious eyes. I nestled in his arms, ignoring his increasingly stiff posture. "It's only a matter of time. Just take me to the nurse's office. My leg hurts, and next class is PE." He said nothing to my familiarity, but did carry me to the nurse's. Most people were in class. It was just the rustling leaves and my heartbeat in my ears. I poked his chest. "Can you slow that heartbeat down? It's kinda loud." "Shut up." He gritted his teeth. I chuckled. So my husband does get embarrassed easily. The 30-year-old Marcus, long past this awkward phase, would always leave me blushing instead. Now I finally had the chance to indulge. After dropping me at the nurse's, Marcus left. The sunlight glinted off his retreating figure, his crimson ears suggesting a hasty escape. I realized Marcus wasn't as wild as I'd thought. "Jesse, notice how much Marcus is coming to school lately?" Betty counted on her fingers. 5 days this week. That never happened before. Maybe he wants to study hard now. I looked outside the window. Down below, the boy slung his backpack over one shoulder and entered the school as the bell rang. Sensing something, he looked up, meeting my gaze from the 3rd floor. I smiled at him. He acted like he didn't see me, turning away and walking on. During break time, he cornered me in a quiet hallway. "How many others have you told you like them?" I blinked. "Just you," he scoffed, pulling out a few love letters from his pocket. "Can't even spell my name right on these?" I did that on purpose. How else could I stand out among all the girls sending him love letters? He has too many admirers. His buddies are the ones reading them all. I wrote them like this to ensure I'd catch his attention fast. Marcus had no idea of my real intent. His face was stern, lips pressed into a tight line. No words. A bit guilty? I feigned innocence. "You're jealous?" "Him? I have a girlfriend. Why'd I be jealous?" I was taken aback. "You still haven't broken up with her?" His lips curved, as if finding a way to faze me now without the previous anger towering over me. "Why break up? Oh, you want me to switch to you?" I got mad. "Why not break up already? Are you waiting for New Year's? You're really ticking off your future wife with your actions right now." "Him? How do you know she's not my future wife?" Fine then. Go be with her." This time, he really ticked me off. I shoved him away and ran off for a whole week. I didn't try to approach Marcus, yet I kept running into him at school. He was still the center of attention, surrounded by people. But every time, he'd intentionally brush past me, like really brushing shoulders. Does he have to keep bumping into me? Even if it wasn't hard, just a light touch. I didn't expect that after pausing my pursuit of Marcus, someone else would confess to me. The one who asked me out was a tall, skinny guy from the next door class. When he smiled, you could see his little fangs. "Jesse, do you remember? You gave me water on the court once. And from that day, I started liking you." I was kind of confused. When did I ever give water to another guy? After thinking hard for a minute, I remembered. It was the first time I watched Marcus play. I bought water, but he had already left, so I just handed it to a sweaty player nearby. Little did I know, I'd captured someone else's heart. Embarrassed, I said, "Oh, it was you." He laughed brightly. "I knew you remembered me. Thanks for that day. You're a really cute girl. Could you be my girlfriend?" I replied, "Thanks for liking me, but..." Before I could finish, I was suddenly pulled into a fresh, cool embrace from behind. "She has a boyfriend." Marcus caught me in his arms. I hadn't processed what was happening. The guy was surprised to see Marcus there too. He frowned when he saw Marcus holding me. "Let her go. Jessie is a great girl, not like your other girlfriends. Don't bully her." Marcus shot back with a cold glare. "Which I saw me bullying her then. Let her go." "Is there a problem with holding my girlfriend?" the guy complained. I asked around. "She doesn't have a boyfriend." I nodded. "That's true. I don't." Marcus looked down at me, his gaze intense, then suddenly smiled. That smile made me feel uneasy. I stood straight and told the guy, "It's true. I don't have a boyfriend, and I'm not looking for one right now. Thanks, but sorry." After he walked away sadly, I turned to Marcus, leaning against a tree. "Why haven't you left yet?" He stared at me intently and said casually, "Did you give him water?" just once. It was supposed to be for you, but you're too popular. You didn't need my bottle, I thought sarcastically. Why did you give him water? I made up a reason. He played well. Marcus sneered. Really? He's always losing to me? As he said this, he lifted his chin slightly, looking smug. He reminded me a lot of the little cat we had after getting married. Every time it wanted praise, it would lift its head, looking all proud and cute. I sighed. Maybe he just didn't have a good day. His proud expression instantly fell. Don't defend him, I said, using his own words against him. Are we that close? He pressed his lips together, sunlight filtering through the trees, casting shadows in his eyes that reflected me. After a moment, he spoke. All right. All right, what? Be my girlfriend. Nope. His lips tightened more, not expecting me to say that. I walked up to him, needing to look up because he was so tall, and patted his shoulder. What I said wasn't just for that guy. It was for you two. I've thought it over. I just want to focus on studying for now. In college, there'll be plenty of handsome guys. He scoffed, acting like that. You think I'd let you off so easy? You used to call me hubby, and your affection was that fleeting? His tone was calm but felt icy. I call it seeing the light. You're always MIA with girls around you. We're just from different worlds. It wouldn't work. He instinctively replied, How do you know that? Then he paused, realizing what he'd said. Marcus started skipping school again, caught up in fighting and clubbing. Betty sighed. I thought the young master had changed. Turns out it was just temporary. I was buried in my papers, focused on a math problem. Why aren't you interested in Marcus anymore? Anyway, it's good. With his background, he'd need someone from the same status, like a business marriage. I just smiled, as if I wouldn't know if Marcus had a business marriage lined up. With his rebellious nature, unless forced, he'd never go through with it. That's why he stayed single till 30. Looking out the window, I noted Marcus hadn't been at school for a week. But I wasn't worried. He wasn't living it up like people thought. That day after school, I walked in the dimming light, the cool evening breeze making me rub my hands for warmth. Some thugs showed up at the alley entrance. I backed away as they blocked me. Hey there, got any spare change for us? Looking so fine. Got a boyfriend? Want to hang with? This cute face begs for a kiss. Before he finished, a punch landed, knocking him down. Who hit me? It was me. Marcus's voice was icy. I was stunned by him suddenly appearing in front of me. Marcus, you? Just passing by. The thugs gathered, furious. You hit me? You ain't leaving today. Marcus and the 5 guys started brawling. He took them on, 5 against 1. His fierceness scared them off eventually. With a curse, they fled. Marcus wasn't unscathed either. Bruised at the corner of his mouth, he tried to leave. I rushed to support him. You okay? I wanted to take you to a nearby hospital. He refused, so I got us to a pharmacy, buying some Band-Aids. I carefully placed one on his wound, and he winced. I immediately blew on it. Does it hurt? He looked at my reddening eyes, licked his lips. Not bad. I said sternly, next time, don't fight so hard. Running is fine too. This, I can take 10 of them, no big deal. He winced. I withdrew my hand lightly. Did you hear me? The shopkeeper nearby chuckled. Your girlfriend is really worried about you. Marcus turned away, not saying a word for once. After leaving the pharmacy, I wanted to show my concern, so I took him to get some hot cocoa. He acted like he didn't want it, but still followed me. Inside, away from the chill, the warm light was comforting. Watching him eat in small bites because of his mouth wound, I couldn't help but smile. Loudly, he bit into a big piece of octopus ball. So good, he said. Childish, I remarked. His cheeks puffed. He poked at them as if they were a new toy. I slapped his hand away. Childish. Though it was for him, I ate most of it myself. After finishing, he coolly put on his hat and left. I burped. I can't help but feel that Marcus is just a stubborn kid. He's got that rebellious teenage flair, bold and brazen. Yet there's something adorable about him that's hard to describe. September 15th is Marcus's birthday. Since we got together every year on this day, he takes me to see the sea. We watch the ocean through the big windows. I sip wine. He starts tasting me. Every time, the next day, I wouldn't wake up until noon or later. He'd hold me and take me to eat. Thinking about those out-of-place scenes feels like they were just yesterday. Now, being back in high school, it's much easier. On this day, his rich Playboy friends threw him a birthday bash with lots of pretty girls from school, including a few beauties. Betty said, "Jesse, you're pretty too. How come you weren't invited? They're blind. Wonder who'll be lucky enough to become his girlfriend this time." I was doodling on my scrap paper. Betty leaned over to look. I sketched a turtle with a note, "Marcus, live long and prosper." Marcus showed up at school that day too. After gym class, I saw him coming down the hallway. I hurried to call out to him. "Marcus?" He stopped. "What's up? Is it your birthday today?" He raised his brow. "Yeah. I got a birthday gift for you, but it'll be ready in a few days." "What did you get me?" The evening breeze blew my hair as I grinned. "Not telling yet, but you'll definitely like it." He looked away like he saw something too bright and said, "You better impress me." "Not going out to eat with them?" I was surprised Marcus skipped the party for him after school. "Didn't you invite me?" "When did I invite him?" "You stopped me. Didn't you want some alone time?" "I get it. Does he have a wild imagination or what?" He lazily replied, "The party would just be drinking and gaming. Boring." I thought for a moment. "I know a place you'd like. Where did you bring your ID?" "An ID?" He hesitated. Something seemed to dawn on him, and his ears turned red. Yeah, I did." "So, we went to the amusement park." Marcus paused at the entrance. "Isn't this for kids? There are lots of rides inside, and you can get discounts with an ID plus a free pass." He gave me a look but didn't say anything before I led him to some thrilling rides. At first, he wasn't interested, but then he got into it. Watching him loosen up made me happy too. He once told me, back when he was 30, that his parents were too busy working and never took him to amusement parks. "Are you having fun?" I asked. He arched a brow, our reflections in his eyes, more than I expected. I felt proud. "It's not easy to get a compliment from this young master." As night fell, we sat on the Ferris wheel, looking down at the lively scene below, all glowing like scattered stars. Sitting next to Marcus, I remembered how I loved coming to amusement parks for the Ferris wheel in my past life, though I never did the thrilling rides. I sure got my fill today. Being young is great. I leaned on Marcus's shoulder without thinking. His breathing quickened, reminding me that this Marcus isn't my husband yet. We weren't married. I was about to pull away when he gently held me in place. "Don't move," he said softly, his voice husky. The atmosphere between us became charged and intimate. In our little bubble, each other's breathing was so clear. "Jesse," he called my name. "I want to date you." I didn't expect Marcus to be serious. He started pursuing me. Every day he bought me snacks. Betty was amazed. "Jesse, what did you do?" "Marcus got you all these snacks. Do guys this age chase girls so openly?" When the 30-year-old Marcus pursued me, he was much subtler. He'd find ways to join meals at my place until he took over the kitchen, crafting meals that rivaled five-star hotels. I fell hard for his cooking, couldn't get enough. That led to us dating, moving in together, and eventually marrying. He was like a cunning wolf, leading his prey into his den back then. This young Marcus clearly didn't grasp the concept of taking things slow. I happily accepted his snacks and shared them with Betty. Betty was astonished. "Wow, never thought I'd taste Marcus's snacks." "Jesse, you're amazing." We'd munch on chips after classes, and I even gained some weight. I told Marcus to stop. I really couldn't finish all the snacks. Next thing I knew, someone told him something, and he began sending sparkly hair clips and bracelets instead. Looking at the collection of shiny trinkets in my desk drawer, I couldn't help but laugh. He was making it so public. Most of the school knew. No one expected Marcus to go for the new transfer student. No one expected Marcus to go for the new transfer student. She seemed so sweet. Was he changing his type? It was always the mature ones before. Wonder how long this will last. They said Marcus was the one chasing her. Normally, girls threw themselves at him. This was a first. Maybe she's stringing him along with that hard-to-get game. Everyone thought his crush would blow over quickly. But surprise, surprise, 2 weeks went by and Marcus seemed to be getting more and more hooked. On the basketball court, he effortlessly nailed a three-pointer at the buzzer. The crowd cheered. Lots of girls offered him water, but unlike before, he didn't grab a random bottle from someone. Instead, he scanned the crowd for me. When he didn't see me, his face darkened, but when I hurried over, he brightened up immediately. "I thought you weren't coming." I caught my breath. "Our teacher ran late." He took the bottle from my hand. "Next time, don't rush. I was worried you'd think I didn't show." I panted. He scoffed, but his voice was light. He twisted off the cap and held it to me. "Your face is all red from running. Drink up." I couldn't help but feel warm inside seeing him sweat-soaked, yet offering me the water first. Under his watchful eyes, I took a sip and handed it back. He naturally took it, taking a few swigs himself. Those moves with his Adam's apple were just so sexy. Water dripped down my Adam's apple and into my jersey. A girl nearby giggled, with her hand over her mouth. "He drank straight from that bottle. They look so sweet together." That's when I realized Marcus had just chugged from the same bottle I drank. Before any juice I couldn't finish, I'd pass to him. I got used to it. Now that someone pointed it out, maybe it's just the hormones at this age, but despite being like an old married couple, I felt a bit shy. My heart started racing. I knew Marcus was staking his claim, especially after a guy who once confessed to me. Marcus waved the bottle in his face, grinning. The guy looked not pleased. If Marcus had a tail, it would definitely be up in the air, but I can't let him stay smug for too long. I often took him to the school study room. He's not a fan of studying. I watched him, making sure he kept good posture while studying. The school's notorious head honcho, acting so compliant in front of me. He'd sit up straight when I told him to. "Look at the book," I pointed at. Although it didn't last long before he slouched back, playing with my hair. He even lowered his head, taking a whiff. "What shampoo do you use? Smells so good." Focus. He loved teasing me, but whenever I was about to get mad, he'd straighten up just in time. Sometimes after exhausting study sessions, he'd take me for a ride on his pricey motorcycle. I had only sat in Marcus's Maybach when he was 30. This was my first time on his cool motorcycle from his teenage years. It felt totally different. The evening breeze on my face eased my mind. The accident from my past life often haunted my dreams. Sometimes I couldn't help but wonder if this was all a dream. How else could I be lucky enough to relive and meet teenage Marcus? "What are you thinking about?" The wind was loud, but I could hear his voice through the helmet, like a thread bringing me back from the haze. Loudly, I replied, "Thinking how good you are at riding." I heard him laugh, chest shaking with pride and freedom, but as I watched the road ahead, all I could think about was his smirk and bright eyes under the helmet. Just before finals, Lily, the school's renowned beauty, approached me unexpectedly. She was really pretty, tall with an air of elegance. The first time she saw me, she looked me over, eyes full of disdain. I checked myself out. "Is my outfit dirty?" Her scorn deepened. "Such a shabby look. How could Marcus like you?" "Ah, I see. She's here because of Marcus." Seeing me silent, thinking she hit a nerve, she smirked. "Marcus is an only child. He's going to inherit a massive family business. His family will definitely find him a girl from a similar background." "So you want to say that girl is you?" "Our families have been working together for a long time. It's almost certain that I'll marry Marcus." Watching her certainty made me want to laugh. She looked displeased. "What's with that face? Really think you can go from rags to riches like that?" "Rags?" I stepped closer. "Well, I should tell you something. My family isn't as poor as you think. You see that new school building going up over there? My dad donated it." She sneered. "Does Marcus know you're such a liar?" I shrugged. "If you don't believe it, ask the principal. Find out how I transferred here without testing, straight into the honors class." On transfer day, my dad contacted the school's principal to make sure I was taken care of and casually donated a building. As for my plain clothes, maybe I wasn't wearing market-popular brands like she assumed. All my life, my clothes have been custom-made. Seeing my calm demeanor, clearly not bluffing, Lily hesitated. "No way. Feel free to check. By the way, that necklace around your neck is from the Twinkle series, right? The chief designer's my cousin. I can call him to send you a real one so you don't keep wearing fakes." Her face turned pale, disbelief written all over it. "You?" I smiled at her and walked away. Students nearby heard our conversation. By the next day, my real background had spread through the school. What was seen as an ordinary transfer student catching the eye of a rich kid turned out to be a massively wealthy heiress. Betty was shocked. Jessie, what else have you been hiding from me? I've been desk mates with a rich, gorgeous girl this whole time. Does your family live in a mansion bigger than the gym? Not that exaggerated. As for my background, Marcus wasn't too surprised. He'd secretly looked into it before. He asked why I suddenly came back to school. I came back just for you. Don't try to fool me. Really? I'm your future wife. Wanted to meet you earlier. Keep you out of trouble. Though he looked doubtful, his ears turned red, and he took my hand. You can only say things like that to me, he whispered. I'll definitely marry you in the future. After finals, we decided to study abroad together. My dad kept calling, urging me to return, missing me terribly. I told him over the phone, I'll be bringing home a son-in-law. He was shocked. What? I understood the feelings of a dad when I married Marcus in my past life. My dad cried like a baby. This time, I thought to give him a heads up. What I didn't expect was, just before returning, I was kidnapped. Not that they specifically targeted me. The kidnappers were after another heiress, and I just happened to be there. To avoid exposure, they took me too. What kind of luck is that? But Marcus noticed early. When I woke up in the van, I heard the kidnappers cussing in the front seat. A biker kept tailing them relentlessly. I knew it was Marcus. How's Marcus's bike keeping up with us? Weren't we supposed to nab Miss Lily? The kidnappers turned to the girl they randomly grabbed, me. As if it was my fault, eventually Lily's family caught on too and deployed help. The kidnappers' vehicle was forced to a stop by several cars. Cornered, they revealed they had bombs. The moment before the explosion, Marcus rushed to shield me just like in my past life. Then a deafening blast. My ears rang for ages. The person on top of me was covered in blood. He rasped, "Does it hurt?" The overwhelming sadness woke me up. With a clean white ceiling above, I realized I was in a hospital. Marcus, a nurse rushed in. Mr. Marcus has pulled through, ma'am. Don't worry, he's okay. Mr. Marcus, ma'am. Did I really go back to being 30? Memories flooded back, and I remembered that after the car accident, both Marcus and I were taken to the hospital. Thanks to Marcus protecting me, I wasn't hurt much. I was just in a coma. Marcus, on the other hand, had severe injuries and went into surgery. Even though the doctor said he was out of danger, I was still really scared walking into the hospital room. He just happened to open his eyes. He looked at me, wrapped in bandages, and seemed confused. Who are you? No way. Why does life keep giving me these shocks? I thought I had returned to high school, but it turned out to be a dream. And now, my husband has amnesia. I grimaced, trying to comfort myself that at least he was alive. The next second, he started laughing. Wife, I'm fine. He was faking it. I stared at him, wanting to hit him but held back because he was injured. He lifted his uninjured arm and hooked it onto mine. Does it hurt? That question instantly reminded me of things from the dream. My eyes reddened and he panicked. Where does it hurt? No, I'm not uncomfortable. I told him about my dream, especially his rebellious antics in high school. He laughed and said, I know. I was surprised. You dreamed it too? Yeah, but not recently. It was when I was in high school. I had this dream, but you weren't in my life at that time. I didn't know you were abroad and couldn't find you, he slowly said, but I believed you existed. Later at that party, I finally met you. You waited for me for 12 years? 12 years, 3 months, and 4 days. I was momentarily stunned. So it wasn't love at first sight for me. It was because you met me in the dream that you liked me. He confirmed, it was love at first sight. The first moment I saw you in the dream, I fell in love with you. But back then, I was too proud to admit it. You knew it too. We cuddled for a bit, and I felt curious. Why did we have such dreams? He said, I once asked at a temple, and the master said we were destined in our past lives. And this life too. Don't joke with me. Next time something dangerous happens, don't play hero. Protecting my wife is the right thing to do. He smiled. My wife is a gift from the heavens. The 30-year-old Marcus sure knows how to charm. I laughed and hooked my finger around his outstretched hand. You're a gift from the heavens too. I've seen the passionate you as a young man, and the mature, steady you now. But no matter which you make me feel like I can happily and joyfully spend the rest of my life.